Record. Okay, here we go. Back to it. A replay of last 20 minutes. No, not really. But Lifeforce Energy. That's what we're here to talk about today. Everything is energy. So today we're going to focus on Lifeforce Energy and what is Lifeforce Energy in comparison to, just regular energy. You get your energy bill for. All right. So energy. First, we'll start with energy, what energy is, and then we'll get into life force energy. Everything is made up of energy. Everything you see, everything you touch, everything you smell, everything you experience is made up of energy, whether it's a physical object, a non-physical object, whether it's a thought or an emotion, emotion, energy and motion. Your thoughts are made up of energy. Your thought has a form. It's just a lot subtler of substance than a remote control. It has physical form. You know, everything is made up of energy. Whether there's all type of different types of energy, but everything's made up of energy. It's a resonation, a vibration, a frequency. Everything has some sort of frequency that it is resonating and vibrating at, because everything is made up of energy. Energy does not dissipate. There's no less or more energy at any moment than any previous moment or any other moment. There's no more energy at any moment or previous moment or any other moment, because it's infinite. There's infinite amount of energy. And so, you may feel like you don't have a lot of energy at times and things, but the energy available to you is always infinite. So it's just, a matter of shifting in a particular way to change and transform what you're currently experiencing. So we'll have different techniques throughout the course. Today we're going to really focus on life force energy, kind of part one, and then next week or next month, life force energy part two, and then after that we'll get into the chakras and things. Like I was saying, a lot of this information you'll have already probably heard or received or understood or know and already applied. A lot of it is probably brand new to you. And so, don't think like, you go through this course, all the parts of it, and that's it. Definitely apply what you receive. Find a way to take the information that you're receiving through this and apply it into your life so that you can know what is true and not. So you can turn the information into knowledge, so that you can understand what energy is. You can understand what life force energy is. You can, knowing about the chakras doesn't turn into something that you just memorize. It's something that you have a relationship with. It's something that you know what to do. You know how to move it. You know how to move your energy to where you're giving energy or receiving energy. You need more energy in this chakra or that one and other things. All of the other chakras, more than just the 7 major chakras. The meridians and understanding those. And I'm not really going to get too in depth into the mechanics of like the physics or the physical science of things, like with the meridians and the meridian points and everything. We're not going to get into all of that and memorizing all of those or anything like that. I'm going to have a chart up here and there throughout the course for it, but it's not, we're not going to get into the nitty gritty on that. Same with like the physics behind energy itself, and the quantum mechanics of things. We aren't going to really divulge into all of that, or like the string theory and all of these other things. But it's more diving into the metaphysics of things. And just like everything else that I share and teach, it's practical metaphysics. So it's finding ways to apply it into your life, taking a practical approach towards this ancient information, this secret knowledge that's no longer a secret because word's out. So, like I said, there's a lot that you'll probably have come across before, but hopefully there's a lot that's new to you also. This first part, maybe not so much, just because it's kind of like laying the foundation, laying the groundwork. So yeah, energy doesn't dissipate. There's no, it just transforms. It just transmutes, you know. Like when a person dies, you know, their essence, their energy does not die. Yeah, they're no longer attached to their physical body. Their physical body isn't animating, but even the energy of the physical body is transmuting. You know, if we bury them into the ground, then it becomes, you know, food for the soil and the worms and the other life forms that exist within that realm. You know, there's life forms that exist on the surface of the earth, just like us humans and most animals that we think of, you know, walk across the surface. Birds are in the air, fish are in the sea. But there's also a ton of life forms in the dirt, you know, in the ground. And so it becomes nutrients for them, nutrients for the dirt itself. Um, and even, yeah, so um, there's something else I was going to say, but I forget. Anyways, you know, no matter what it is, the energy transforms. It moves into another. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Even if you're maybe you're not buried, but you're cremated. I couldn't think of the word. I woke up and want to say burned. Even if you're burned, no, even if you're cremated, you know, that's then your energy is purified because you know it's fire is all about purification. So you have those ashes, and so those ashes are then even, you know, you know, if some people spread their ashes other places, some people hold them in a jar. You know, might be held into a jar for, you know, 300 years, 6 generations, but eventually, you know, something's going to happen to those ashes, and they'll get, you know, given back into the earth. You know, ash from fire is some of the greatest um, uh, nutrients for soil. We talked about that before, mentioned that before times here and there. But anyways, when talking about fire, but even like animals, you know, animals are, you know, that we eat, you know, or plants that we eat, you know, that then transforms into nutrients or waste, you know, but then the waste transforms into something else. You know, another second greatest form of fertilizer for the ground is you know, waste, not necessarily human waste, more like cow and horse and stuff, fertilizer. But anyways, you know, just things that we tend to think of as having been killed. The energy has died. The energy has been killed off. Even those we can see when we really look into it, it actually doesn't. It just transforms. It just transmutes something else. All right, perfect. All right. And so another thing to remember, energy is neutral. This is huge. All energy is neutral. Another thing I should have put in here, energy is infinite. As I mentioned earlier, energy is infinite, but all energy is neutral. You know, we all can, you know, remember and think of times where we walked into a room and the vibes was off. You know, the vibrations, the vibes, the vibrations. The energy within that room did not resonate with us and where we were resonating at the time. So it creates a discord, you know, like a piano. You know, there's different chords in piano where you're hitting, you know, each hand's hitting two to three notes per hand, and it sounds beautiful. You know what I mean, a pianist, ooh, they hitting like 6 keys at a time the whole time, making this beautiful song. But that's because they're hitting certain keys at certain times that all resonate together. If they're off one key, you can hear it. You can hear the discord, like, oh, that didn't, oh, you messed up. Oh, they need to go back and practice, you know, because you can hear when it's off, you know, and it's not necessarily that there's something wrong with that key. It's just it don't fit in that time and place, you know. And so when you go into a room, that's kind of how it is. It's like there's no harmony here. There's a little disconnect, you know. And so, especially those of us who are empathic, there are times when you can walk into a room like that and you receive that energy, and it changes how you're feeling and how you're resonating. You know, their vibration affects your vibration, and so you then, you know, leave out of there feeling different, feeling down, feeling upset, feeling frustrated, feeling anxious, you know, whatever it is. We've all experienced it before where, you know, we walked to a room and we left out feeling the emotions of that was, you know, filling up that room and we allowed it to change us. But just remember, energy is neutral. The energy itself, it's neutral. It's all about how the energy is charged. You know, how is that energy charged? How is your energy charged? How is the energy you're giving off to others charged? You know, like if somebody walks in with an argument, you know, it's, oh, they charged up. You know what I mean? Because it's got a strong charge. You can tell it their energy has a strong charge. You know, it's energy. You know what I mean? That's why you call it charging your phone. Let me charge my phone. Let me give it more energy. You know, how are you charging your energy? How is the energy charged that you're receiving from others? But energy itself, the energy itself is neutral. You know, so how it's charged is going to be determined by you as far as any energy that you experience or take on for yourself. Okay, so energy. You know, y'all know I'm all about the etymology, and so the etymology of the word energy is from the 1590s. It's force of expression. You know, that's the oldest time. But down here, in the second part down here, make sure y'all can see it. Down here, it talks about used by Aristotle. So this is the 1590s. Aristotle was in like 300 to 400 BC. I mean, so he's after Buddha and Lao Tzu and Zarathustra and Ahura Mazda, but before, you know, Jesus Christ and Muhammad. So he used it. So that's kind of the oldest etymology of the word energy that we can find is when Aristotle used it with a sense of actuality, reality, existence, opposed to potential. But this was misunderstood in late Latin and afterward as force of expression. So that's where the force of expression still remained. Force of expression as the power which calls up realistic mental pictures. Because thought is cause. Your thoughts create your reality. Everything you experience starts with the thought. And that's what's going to charge that energy. That's going to be at the source of what charges that energy. I want to point that out, that it all still comes back to thought is cause. Realistic mental pictures. I didn't mean to cross that out. I was trying to underline it. But I got it highlighted, so we good. All right. Any questions so far? Hi. She learning early. She's gonna be a powerful energy.
Nope.
No, okay, no question, no questions. At first, I thought she learned it early. Nope. I was like, dang. No questions. I got you. Okay. So different types of energy. We have physical energy, which we all can kind of really relate to, you know, eating food and things and um, you know, things like that. Etheric energy, when we can kind of like sense something or somebody walks into a room, we can kind of sense the energy. That's etheric energy we're picking up on. Emotional energy, where I talked about that, emotion, energy in motion, the energy moving within you. You know, you can feel it. Mental energy, it's a lot more subtle, but it is still perceivable. And spiritual energy. So there's different types of energy. So we'll talk about different parts of these types of energy at different times. First, we're going to start out with more physical and etheric energy and the sources of energy. So there are two main sources of energy: outer energy and inner energy. Energy that comes from outside of yourself and energy that comes from within yourself. You know? And so it's both the same symbolically. Who here? What's the greatest source of energy that we have on this planet?
Water?
Water. Okay. What's a greater source of energy than
What,
water?
what is wrong with this?
Wind?
Is my mic
That
off?
we have available to us? What's a greater source than that? The sun.
The
Trisha
sun.
got it. The
The
sun.
sun is.
The sun is the
Yeah.
greatest source of energy. Without the sun, there would be no life on this planet. I mean, without water as well, but you know, you can survive a little while without the water. We wouldn't survive a second without the sun. You can survive a few days without the water. You can survive a few minutes without the sun or without air. You wouldn't survive a second. And listen to your TikTok. Yeah. You wouldn't survive a second without the sun. The sun is the greatest source of energy. All energy on this planet originates with the sun. And so, what does the sun represent in the universal language of the mind?
Inner awareness, your super conscious awareness.
Yes, super conscious awareness. The super conscious mind is the uh, uh, mind that your spirit uses. You know, what's a what is the duty of the superconscious mind? What is the masculine principle of the superconscious mind? Does anybody remember that? That's a little tougher one.
I do.
Okay.
It is to aggressively feed your soul and your physical body energy to fulfill your life's purpose.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, the receptive quality of the superconscious mind is to hold the blueprint for our existence. You know, our spirit is there holding this blueprint that we've written out for ourselves. You know, destiny and willpower go hand in hand. That blueprint is our destiny, but we all have willpower or free will. I mean, destiny and free will go hand in hand. You know, we have that destiny that we've written for ourselves, but we all have free will on choosing whether we want to, in any given moment, fulfill that blueprint or not. You know, when life hands us lessons, we can choose to learn it or we can choose to run away and avoid it. You know, and then, but it's destiny. So, you know, whether it's later on in this life or in the next life or three lives down the road, that lesson is going to come back around. And then at that time, we have a choice whether to choose to learn it or not. You know, all of us are at a certain point of, you know, elevation of consciousness, evolution of our spirituality. You know, some of us have already attained enlightenment in past lives, but have chosen to continue to come back. You know, some of us are going to attain that enlightenment in this lifetime. And there's some of us on this planet that are lifetimes away from attaining that level. And so, but that's just all a matter of free will on when they choose to advance and continue onward in their own, you know, spiritual evolution. So we all have free will, but it's our destiny. It's destined to happen because as souls, we are as spirits, we have created that, you know, blueprint for ourselves. We've given ourselves these commands, you know, to you know, bring out into fruition. Is the whole purpose of why we have formed the soul body. Is the reason why we have formed these physical bodies and incarnate ourselves and you know entrapped. You know, you're only trapped if you're unconscious to what's going on. You know, and then it's not a trap, it's a journey. But you might feel trapped because you try to go way left on the path you've already set out, but you know there's boundaries. It's like, man, I can't go too far this way, I can't go too far that way. Yeah, because you're supposed to be going this way. You know, so your soul ain't gonna let you get too far. That's where the whole entrapment, you might feel trapped if that's your approach. But anyways, um that inner, when you, in order to make sure that you have what you need to fulfill that blueprint, which is the receptive quality of the superconscious mind, that's where the aggressive quality comes in. To ensure that you have what you need to fulfill that blueprint, your spirit will feed you life force energy from within yourself so that you have enough energy to do these things. You know, like whenever you have a great idea of something that you just feel is what you need to be doing with your life or some choice or path, you know, you have that inspiration, spirare, you know, comes from the word spirit. You know, it's what it means, spirit, spirare. And so, spiritus. Uh, and so, that inspiration, that thrill, that surge of energy, that inner urge pushing you forward, that's that life force energy coming from within. You know, so you get juiced up off of it, just like you know, you start soaking up the sun, you're gonna get juiced up off of that. So next month we'll focus a lot more on the inner energy and things like that. But this month we're going to focus more on the outer energy. Any questions so far?
Nada.
Okay. All right. So solar energy. Solar energy is the greatest form of energy available to us, as we learned. All physical energy we receive is solar energy. All physical energy we receive is solar energy. What what ways do we energize our body? How do we keep our body energized?
By a lot of things. I can just say
Yeah,
that. Or do you want me
yeah.
to list
Name
some?
one. Yeah, name one.
Most common is eating,
Eating.
receiving
Okay.
the energy from your food.
Yep. Receive energy from
There's
food.
also
Okay.
getting out in the sun.
Hmm.
There's receiving energy from others. There is hmm, there's also receiving energy from your drinks. There's
Yeah. As
receiving
you drink.
energy from the soil, from the earth, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah. So
and
all of those things
exercise.
are charged up. All of those things are charged up from the sun. So when you're when I'm sun gazing, you all can do whatever you want. I look at the sun all the time. Not so much in the winter, which I need to get better at. All these years, I continue to tell myself to get better at. Exercise, yeah, exercise. So when you're receiving the energy directly from the sun, that's primary solar energy. You're receiving it directly from the sun. When you are eating the plants and drinking the water, that is secondary solar energy. The water absorbs the sun, and that's how you're extracting the vitality from that, and the plants through photosynthesis are eating the sun, and then you're eating the plants, or you get it tertiarily, through the third way, the third down the line. You're the third one to receive it. That is when you eat animals, and you eat the animals that eat the plants that eat the sun. All of it is coming back to the source of the sun. So I mean, it's to each their own. I'm not here preaching no veganism. I'll eat meat. I've had times where I didn't eat meat, but it had nothing to do with benevolentness of animals. It just had to do with alkalinity of what I was putting into my body, and because it's all sacrifice. You either sacrifice an animal, or you're sacrificing a plant, or you're sacrificing an element and breathing. These are all different root races, in higher forms. So it's all sacrifice, universal all sacrifice. But anyways, all physical energy you receive is from the sun. Even when you're, planting your feet, or, you know, out in the woods, and you're being charged up from the trees or the ground or the soil, that's still coming directly from the sun. The energy of the earth is, just like we're receiving the energy from the sun, so is the earth, the planet, because we are just as much a part of the earth as the trees are, as the animals are, as the rivers and streams and rocks. We are a part of this earth. We are the earth. We the pinky of the earth. We just a little piece of it, but without us there is no earth. Without the earth there is no us. Without trees there is no earth. Without the earth there are no trees. It's the same thing. We are the earth. And so, when you're receiving energy from others, you already said all the energy we receive is from the sun. So if we receive energy from other people, then that's also still solar energy that we're receiving from them. So that's why I personally focus so much on receiving solar energy directly, just because that's not even anything that I learned or anything like that. It's just something I stumbled across on my own, and started doing and receiving the benefits, and noticing the differences in the times when I would go, 3, 4 months of looking at the sun every day, and when I don't. Like wintertime, man, I just don't really like the cold. And so I don't really go gaze at the sun nowhere near as often. And winter times are nowhere near as fun. My manifestations don't happen as fast. I'm not as energetic and lively as normal. Just life is just not as pleasant as the summertime. But and that's always been that way my whole life, but it's been more exaggerated the last 10 years, ever since I started, sun gazing. Um, and not to say I'm, terrible or nothing's happened for me at all in the winter. It's just, not happening as much as during the summer. And I know that it is due to the solar energy. All right. So what is how do we actually receive the solar energy? And it's through the prana. Prana is actually what exactly does prana mean? Should have put that on here too. Yeah, breath. That's what I thought. Because pranayama is breath work. I just wanted to be sure. Um, so the breath and the essence of what's in the breath is the vitality globule. The vitality globule is the solar energy encapsulated within the oxygen molecules. So when the sun enters into our ozone, through our ozone into our atmosphere, the oxygen is charged with the vitality globules. And so then when we breathe in through the prana, then we are receiving those vitality globules. You know, like when we're doing that breathing, the, yeah, part of the effects of what you experience are over oxygenation. So being able to go into the breathless state, you know, your body is so full of oxygen that you don't really need to receive more and you can just remain there without breathing for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You know, if you're doing this breathing for like 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, whatever. And but a lot of that also is the fact that the vitality globules are also you're overcharged with the divine energy from the sun. And so all of your organs are vitalized. They have the vitality that they need to last for quite a while before you need to continue to put more into it. And so these vitality globules are also transferred into the plants. The plants absorb it, the water absorbs it. And so then we absorb it through that. That's how it gets there, through the vitality globules that are coming from the sun. And so when we when we do this, then we can really understand power of our breath. That is one of the best ways to receive this solar energy. And now I talked about how energy is charged. You know, energy is neutral, but how is energy charged? The sun, the sun has a different charge, you know, and where we are in the planet or in the solar system right now, we are at a point, you know, the dark ages, the Kali Yuga was a point, it was called the dark ages because there was the least amount of energy on this planet as there will ever will be, because the solar system as a whole was furthest away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, which there's more energy coming from there. Just like our source of energy is from the sun, the true source of energy that we have, you know, even expanded out a little bit further, is from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. It's a ton of energy in the middle, and we're on like the outskirts almost. And so now, since we've passed that apex of being at the furthest point away, we are now in the very beginning. I mean, in the grand scale of 20,000 years, we're in the very beginning of getting closer and closer and closer. So there is more and more energy on the planet than there was the day before. And so the sun is more and more charged up than it was the day before. And so if our breath is how we absorb that solar energy, then we can become more and more charged up the more we consciously work with our breath. And now, one thing that a lot of you may have already, you know, understood and practiced and things is, you know, with pranayama, with breath work is, you know, being conscious of your breath, being aware of your breath. You know, oh, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath of 6 seconds. I'm going to hold the breath for 3. I'm going to exhale for 6 seconds. Okay, I'm consciously breathing versus just, you know, all day long. I'm just, you know, my subconscious mind is in control of the lungs and everything, and the breath is just naturally going on its own. You know, yeah, that's consciously breathing, but if we understand that the power of the breath is coming from the prana, from the vitality globules, from the energy that we are receiving into our body, then we understand that the power of the breath is not just the inhale and exhale, but what is received and let go in that time. So then consciously breathing is truly, what are you doing with that energy? How are you commanding that energy? So you can be conscious of, yeah, I was just kind of my body was just breathing in and out on its own as it goes without any direction from my attention. But now I'm inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So I'm consciously breathing, but I'm still unconsciously moving the energy. The energy is still doing what the breath was doing before. It's still just moving however it just naturally flows, however my subconscious naturally moves it around. So conscious breathing is truly not only controlling the breath, but also controlling the energy that you receive through the breath. That is when you are truly harnessing the power of your breath. And so, full body revitalization. How do we then do that? Well, the medulla oblongata is where, when you receive this energy in through your breath, pull prana into your body with the inhale. And when you do, the medulla oblongata, I should have put a picture of this. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, because I should have already done that. You guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
You see what I'm pulling up?
No, not yet. I'm still on solar energy.
Ah, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Boom. Okay. Now you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So the medulla oblongata right here is at the stem of the brain, right? It's the only part of the body that science can't do any surgery on because it's interconnected with every part of your body. That's because it is the controller of where the energy goes. When you pull the energy in, because your eyeballs are right here, right? Your eyeballs are right here and they're attached into the brain like this. You have the nose and the mouth. This is a pretty ugly person, but their scalp's missing, so they don't have high hopes. But the energy will come in right here into the brow chakra right here, and it will then go into the medulla oblongata. This is such a terrible butchered all this. But anyways, you know where the eyes are. The energy comes in and comes to the medulla oblongata right here. And then from the medulla oblongata, it's like a radio transmitter. It receives the signal and then it sends the signal out to the rest of everything, like a satellite in space. The satellite receives the signal from the source and then it sends the signal out to all the other spots on the planet that it needs to as a satellite. Receives the information and then transmits it out. The medulla oblongata is the same way. It receives the energy from outside, centralizes it, and then disperses it into the body, right? So what we will want to do is draw, when we pull the prana into the body with the inhale, we pull it into the medulla oblongata. Like, go ahead and do that, and try to put your attention on where the medulla oblongata is, and breathe in. You can kind of feel that there's something happening there. Or I mean, I don't know. I've been doing this so long. Sometimes I can't discern whether, I've always been able to feel that, or if someone else can do that or not, because I've done it so much. But can you feel anything there?
Tarak,
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
would you say like the medulla oblongata is like you said the stem connected to the brain and what is it connected to the brain and the spine or
Exactly. Yeah, it's what connects the brain and the spine together. The
okay.
medulla oblongata is where they connect together. It's like the brain turning into the spine is where the medulla oblongata is. Yeah, maybe do a little more Googling and researching and look more into it, really find out where it's at, what it's located. Another thing that you can do is every morning and every night, or while you're doing your breathing exercise, oh wait, hold on. I'm doing this like y'all can see me. Okay, y'all can see me? Here, let me turn off this blur.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
Okay. Put your fingers on that spot in the back of your neck. See, I got this long hair now, so hold on. I'm gonna find something else for you. It's so funny, all the things that I think of that I should have put in these slides that I'm not remembering. Okay. Boom. Hey, look. Hey, this is perfect. This guy already pointing to it. Oh, whoops. Oh man, this is will JPEG work? I don't know. We're about to find out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Open this up again. Okay. Now this. Go back to share the screen. Back to here, I believe. Okay. So right here. And actually, you will want to, it'll be more like right here, and right here. That's that part of the neck. I mean, that's where your medulla oblongata is. And actually, it'll be more kind of like to the outsides, right here. You see that? Everybody see where I'm pointing? I'm indicating. So,
Yes.
yeah. So one thing you can do to help activate, help massage, and get it woken up, stretched out, is you can massage that part, and it'll really help activate the medulla oblongata and strengthen it, make it stronger. So you'll just put your fingers there, massage in circles. Don't matter. I mean, go in one direction, go in another direction, go up and down if you want, go back and forth, whatever you want to do. With me, I just kind of go in these circles and massage it out. So do that, before, during, after your energy exercise. Ideally before your breathing exercise. Okay. And so let's get back to here. Okay. So we're gonna breathe in and pull the prana, pull the vitality globules, pull the prana into your body. And then on the exhale, so when you're inhaling at the apex of the inhale, and energy moves off intention. That's another thing I meant to put on here. Energy moves off of intention. So all you need is your imagination. That's it. You know, whether you can feel it, whether you can perceive energy flowing through your body yet or not, that'll come. You know, if you can't do it yet, just with regular practice, that'll come. You'll be able to perceive the energy. You'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel it flowing. You'll be able to feel which direction it's moving in, whether it's leaving or coming or going or staying or stagnant. You know, you'll be able to see it and perceive it. But whether you can do that or not, your imagination is all you need because energy moves off intention. You know, energy flows where the attention goes. I mean, that's very real. It's not just something cool because it rhymes, something fancy to say just because people are saying it. You know, it's trendy. It's very real. It's a universal law or universal truth. Energy flows where the attention goes. You put your attention on your finger, you're gonna start having a lot more energy on your finger. You're gonna feel it pulsing. You don't feel that it has more energy there. You know what I mean? So energy flows, the attention goes. So wait, the energy will move wherever you imagine it to. At first, it'll be imagine. I mean, it'll always be imagination, but it'll be more than just like the way the word imagination is charged and perceived. It'll be more than that, but it'll still be the ability of imagination, image making, and so you'll start out that way. So when you breathe in, see in your imagination all of the energy collecting together into the medulla oblongata. And then when you exhale and breathe out, send that energy throughout your whole entire body. Feel that?
Yes, and I also feel a pulsing everywhere.
Yeah.
I just changed it up a little bit. When I bring it in and on the exhale, I pass it through my heart space. And then I make sure I
Yeah.
turn it green so it can turn into love energy. And then I set it around throughout my body.
Beautiful. But for now, just breathe in and pull all the energy into the medulla oblongata, and then exhale and send it all throughout every space of your body. So that is like physical. The vitality globules are coming in that way. But like I said, there's more than just physical energy. There's also, you know, etheric energy, spiritual energy, emotional energy. And so there's different things that you can do there. So like what Kez was talking about, then taking it to his heart center, to his heart chakra. And then from there, expanding it out. Well, you can breathe through your heart. Yes, we, you know, physically take in air through our mouth and things. But like I said, the vitality globules, the prana is in the air all around us. Everything is energy. So you can absorb the energy from all around you. It doesn't have to come through the breath. It can come through, you know, these are energy transformers. They transform non-physical energy into physical energy, as we'll learn, you know, and they transform physical energy into non-physical energy. So the same thing that you're doing with the breath and taking and absorbing the oxygen and then transmuting it or really filtering out and sifting out the energy from it, you can do the same thing with your chakras. So your heart chakra, you can breathe in, pull it into the heart chakra, and then exhale, breathe out to the rest of your body. You can do that. You can just breathe in and out through your heart. I spent like 3 or 4 months where my whole focus in every day was just breathing through my heart as much as I could remember. You know, goal, purpose, and activity is the formula for success. So, what's your goal? What's your purpose? What's your activity? You know, for a long time, my purpose was to master my heart chakra energy in order to become, you know, a master healer. And my activity was to breathe through the heart. And my goal was to have a free flowing, open heart, heart center. And so I would do that all the time, breathing through my heart. Anyways, you can do that. So breathe into the heart, and then Exhale and send it out through the whole rest of the body. With every inhale, pull the energy in to the heart center. Then with every exhale, fill it out into your body. Okay. Have your heart's energy expand out into your body. Now, when you're doing it like this, what you would want to then do after a couple minutes, when you really feel your whole body full of energy, then expand it out and fill your astral body. Your astral body is made up of all your other bodies: your etheric body, your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your energetic body. That's why it's so much bigger, because all those bodies are bigger than your physical body. So fill in your whole space. Breathe in to the heart center. And then exhale and fill your whole body's already full. So fill in your whole, expand your heart energy throughout and fill your whole body. Energy moves off intention. Use your imagination. You may just need to, fill it like see your like a green light coming from out of your heart and filling the space around you. Maybe that might help you. Maybe just feeling your way through it. Feel the space around you filling with your energy. Breathe into your heart. Exhale and see the light from your heart expanding throughout your whole entire astral aura. So that's what your aura is the perception of your astral body. Now, once you have that full, fill the whole room. Now try to expand that energy out and fill the whole room. Breathe into your heart. And exhale and fill the whole room with the green light energy from your heart. Breathe in. Pull that energy into the heart, and then breathe out. Now expand your attention to really expand it all the way out and perceive your whole entire city in your mind. See the whole city that you live in your mind. If you live in a very small city, then see your whole state in your mind. And hold your mind and set an intention of receiving and pulling in all of the free energy that is not being utilized by anyone. We don't want to impose upon other people. We don't want to take other people's energy or other things' energy, but just all of the free energy that the planet has to offer you that is not being utilized by anyone. And on our inhales now, we're going to pull all of that energy into our heart center. And then the green energy, we're going to fill out and fill the room. Okay? So breathe in. So have your attention expanded throughout your whole entire city or your state. Breathe in, absorbing all of that energy, and then breathe out, expanding your light from your heart to fill your entire room. Breathe in to the heart, and then inhale. Everybody keep breathing while Santana asks her question.
Hey, Tarak, I just wanted to just ask, like, how can you feel your astral body as we take in the breath and, feel out the astral and the mental bodies? I've been trying to get a sense of feeling as to, what that feels like.
Well, I mean, you might not be able to feel it at first. You might not be able to perceive it, but practice. Practice is what's going to do it. Continue breathing. Breathe in. And one great way to practice is, I've shared this technique before. Put your attention on the space behind your body. Continue breathing. Put your attention on the space behind your body throughout the day. just all day, as many times as you can remember. Put your attention on the space behind your body and just feel the space behind your body. If you're sitting in a chair, feel the space behind your chair. If you're driving in a car, or if you're riding in a car, maybe don't do it. I don't promote anyone do this while they're driving. But if you're riding in a car, then put your attention on the space behind the chair in your car. That's really fascinating when you're doing that. But putting your attention behind you will really help for you to pull your attention away from your sight and give more attention to the sense, pulling your attention away from the sense of sight and putting more attention on the sense of feeling, of touch. Because sometimes if we're still really engaging the sight, it's a little harder to shift our attention from that sense to a different sense. But when you put it on behind you, it's like, okay, I'm definitely not going to be able to see behind me. Okay, and then put my attention. So it's easier to remove your attention from the sight. So practice that, and just continue to practice and see how you can feel those problems. But now, let's continue breathing. Breathe in, pull all of that energy into your heart center. Expand that energy. See the whole room that you're in filled, soaking full of the light, the green, vibrant, vivid light from your heart. Breathe in again. Now we're going to expand and fill up the entire building. So continue to breathe in, pull that energy in, then fill the whole building with your light from your heart center. Breathe in again. Fill the whole building with your light. Now see this light continuing to build and expand. It's sinking deep into the earth and it's expanding and filling your whole entire neighborhood. See your whole neighborhood filled with your light. With every inhale, you're absorbing the energy into your heart center. With every exhale, you're expanding your light. And it's pushing this sphere of light out further and further, and see the whole region of the planet that you're on filling with the lights, going deeper and deeper into the earth, higher and higher into the sky, and it's expanding out until the whole country is filled with your light center. And now there are six different orbs of light, supercharged of light, filling this whole entire country, wherever you guys are at the planet. And continue breathing. Breathe in and expand it out until the whole entire planet is completely absorbed with your light from your heart center. Now all of our lights are interconnected and touching, feeding into each other, all feeding into each other's lights now. Continue to absorb into your heart center. Really see this whole entire planet filled with this dense, full, bursting sphere of light. So much so that it has no choice as you continue to inhale, continue to exhale, it has no choice but to expand out further, filling, encapsulating the moon now. It's expanding further, filling the whole entire solar system. It's expanding further, filling the whole entire galaxy. See your light coming from your heart center, filling the entire galaxy and other galaxies. Inhale. Exhale. It's filling now tons of galaxies and nebulas until the entire universe, as far as your mind can perceive, is filled with your light center from your heart center. And now leave your sphere expanded and just bring your attention back to our galaxy, back to our solar system, back to our planet, back to your country, back to your state, your region, back to your city, town, or village, back to your neighborhood. Bring your attention back to your building you're in, or if you're outside, and back to your room, and back to your body. Put your attention on your feet, legs, your hips, your abdomen, your torso, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your head. Bring your attention to your full body, taking a deep breath. Exhale. And you don't have to go that deep into it. You can just continue to feel your body. That'll really revitalize your body, especially if you do the original, the first one that we were doing with the medulla oblongata. And another thing with the medulla oblongata, since it is interconnected with all the parts of the body, if you're ever feeling a pain somewhere, or if you ever know that you need healing in some portion of your body, especially if you've been practicing, like that's why the importance of practicing this every day is so powerful. Because when you practice it every day, after a year, after 4 years, after 10 years, you are going to be so good at directing the energy to where you can, sit something's going on, some sort of ailment, and you can, heal it physically. You can re re um, um, shift. You can shift the resonance, the frequency within that portion of your body. So if you have, some pain somewhere, just breathe in to the medulla oblongata, and then breathe out and direct the energy to that spot in your body. Simple as that. We have any other questions or anything before we go to the last slide, or maybe share your guys' thoughts and experience with that exercise we just did?
That was a very intriguing experience. Just gonna start off by saying that, man, after a while, my hands just went numb, and I experienced something I never experienced before. My arms were just straight up, and my phone was on my hands, and my hands went numb while it was in a stiff position instead of just
Mm,
relaxing. And I didn't
mm,
know my body can do that. I didn't know my body can just relax without getting a relaxed position.
mm-hmm.
So that happened, and then when I got to start spreading my light throughout the universe, that's when I put my attention on my astral body and just set the energy to my astral body and visualize my astral body being humongous,
Yeah.
bigger than the planet, and spreading it out through
Mm-hmm.
that way. Same thing with the
Yeah.
house. I was sending the energy to my astral body. And then I was using my astral body and astral senses to just pull it all out, not pull it, but push it all out throughout the
Mm-hmm.
house.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing with that, and it felt cool. I felt like I was gaining some more energy. I felt a lot of energy pulsing throughout my body, and it was very fun. So I did enjoy it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyone else want to share anything?
I'll share. I had a really bad migraine. I just feel like I
Mm.
just sent love to the migraine and it's gone.
Oh yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's amazing. Like I wanted to ask you something,
Mm-hmm.
Tarak. So lately I've been, it's really interesting that I finally got, back in, class or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with my heart a lot, and it's to the point like I feel everything out of my heart only. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can feel like all the emotions, like sadness. I can feel the fear. It didn't used to be like that. Like I used to feel fear in my like abdomen and solar plexus. Now I can feel it like, and I don't really feel fear in my heart, but I know how it feels. But all of my emotions have been felt in my heart from, is that what they call heart center? Would you consider that to be
Yeah, your heart
um
chakra. Yeah. If you're feeling it like that, yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
wanted to know, was that what they meant by being heart centered?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you have many different centers. And so you can use any of these centers to create different experiences and be centered. And know yourself in different ways and shoot yourself to your centered point. So the heart center is a very big one. So, you know, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else and how they're using any term, but you know, typically, yes, being heart centered is because you're coming from a place from within your heart. Whatever you're doing, you're you're centered in your heart. So like a lot of people are brain centered. You know, they just think through everything. You know, oh, an issue came up. Let me think my way through this. You know, some people are gut centered, you know, with the sacral or the solar plexus. So they're just like, oh, let me just feel my way. Let me just like run off my instincts on this. An issue came up. Let me run off my instincts. You know, being heart centered is, you know, let me make sure I'm approaching this from a place of love. Because that's what the heart chakra is all about. And so, you know, to me, at least, that's what being heart centered means is your centered point, the centered point of your awareness is anchored within your heart chakra, in your heart. I mean, whenever I say heart, that's what I mean. Yes.
Will we be going over dreams in this Zoom meeting?
Yeah, yeah. After we got one more slide, then we can do all of that. All of
All right, good. Because I got a very interesting one that is gonna be. Let's just leave it for that. All right.
that. All right, all right. Okay. So this last slide here. Energy is neutral. I already talked about that. So one thing I definitely wanted to make sure I touched on before we go and wait until next week is that once you receive energy, so kind of spiraling back, now that we've had this experience that we just did of moving energy within our body, supercharging our body with energy, you know, we had an experience of what that can do and kind of how we do that, a basic form of how we do that. Energy is neutral. Okay. Once you receive energy, it becomes your energy. So if you who raise a hand or give some kind of, you know, something indication if you've ever experienced, you know, meeting up with a friend or someone and they just kind of like unload all their problems and what they're going through, their issues, their dramas, and then they sit there and be like, "Oh man, I feel so much better after talking to you." Then you feel like junk. You know what I mean? So, Kaz, I mean, you can. So yeah, everybody, Trish Santana. So yeah, so you received their energy. There was a transference of energy. They transferred the energy that they were feeling onto you. You walked into the meeting feeling good. They felt like junk. They shared with you what was going on. You're probably very empathic. And so not only did you absorb it, you really did absorb, you know, receive it, but you really did absorb it. And then, you know, they feel great now because they don't have that energy. Now you have it. Well, once that happens, once you receive the energy, it becomes your energy. It is not anyone else's, it is your energy. And this is oftentimes why a lot of people who are very empathic choose to, you know, guard themselves and close themselves off and pretty much handicap their greatest ability, you know, their superpower. They pretty much, you know, amputate their superpower. That's probably a great way to put it. But I understand, you know, because they don't, it's just something they're naturally have and a natural gift that they have, maybe more so than other people because of past experiences and understandings that they built up. But they don't consciously understand it or how it works or what to do with it. So that's the best way to cope with it. That's the best way to get through life with it because they don't understand energy. But since it is now your energy, you are free to charge it however you like. Like I said, energy is neutral. It's all about how it's charged. It came to you with a certain charge. It came to you with an angry, charged up in anger, or it came to you charged up in fear, or it came to you charged up in anxiety, or it came to you charged up in, sadness and grief. And that's how it was charged. That's how you received it. So that's how you're experiencing it currently. But it's neutral. So it's your energy. You can do with it whatever you want. So then it's all about learning how to transmute that energy. We'll really get into that a lot next time. And between now and next time, I'm going to share a video that I have on YouTube in the Discord chat that's going to go along with this for transmuting energy. It's a great tool for transmuting energy, and so you can, it's on YouTube, so you can like bookmark it and go back to it whenever you need it. So if you're around some friends or something, or if you and your significant other get into an argument or something, and you just need to kind of like let go of whatever energy, because it doesn't even have to come from somebody else. It could be something, an energy, an emotion, or something that you self-generated, but you still need to transmute that energy. You can just pull up that video, go and do the exercise, and transmute the energy. You can do it together. you know. And but anyways, um, I'll put that in the Discord chat. And let me see. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and drop it. Actually, no, I'll do it after this because I'm gonna have to go like find the exact thing. I'm seeing chakra and energy healing. Boom, I'll put it in that channel. Chakra and energy healing. But it'll be tied with this course when it's all packaged, when everything gets packaged together, and offered to everyone else. You'll still have the mentee thing, so it'll be very succinct and collected together inside of there also. But until then, post it there. You can do whatever you want with it. But anyways, you can share it with other people, do whatever. That's what it's for. And so, and really any of this, share it with anybody you want. That's what it's for. But anyways, transmuting the energy is very similar to what we just did. You move the energy. And so you have to, energy moves off of intention. And that's how the energy is charged. Energy moves off intention, and energy flows where the attention goes. So if you want to send the energy somewhere, you can simply do that. That's one very simple technique. You can breathe in, and when breathing in, you're pretty much just gathering all of your energy to your root chakra at the base of your spine. So like before, when we were inhaling, we were pulling all of the energy from outside of ourselves through our nose into our medulla oblongata, and it was all gathering there. Outside energy from outside of ourselves, we're gathering at the medulla oblongata, and then on the exhale, we were sending it out throughout the whole entire body. Well, this time we're going to do reverse. We're going to take all of the energy from within the entire body and centralize it on the inhale at the root chakra. And then on the exhale, oh wait, hold on. You know what? Okay. Now you guys can see me, right? Okay, so we're going to absorb oh well. You guys can all see me, right? Okay. Anyways, if you can't, oh well. You will pull all of that energy into the root chakra on the inhale, and then on the exhale, send it all the way up your spine, through your head, and out the top of your head, and just give it to your higher self, to the divine, to the universe, to wherever. Just send it out of your body, and do that, 20 times. I mean, depending on how strong the energy is, maybe you got to do it for 5 minutes, but it's worth it versus letting it ruin the whole rest of your day or week or month or year, or just set you on a whole new path in life. And so that's one simple way where you can kind of transmute the energy. But that's one thing you can really do that's very simple, and I can leave you with today. And then the other exercise, check that out, and that'll really help you to transmute the energy. Because one thing is, when people hating on you and people preying on your downfall, they're sending you energy, and it's charged that way. And sometimes if if you have a weak will, especially, then it'll work. You know what I mean? Just like, some of us do have literal guardian angels because our granny's been praying for us every single day, 5 times a day. And so, there our thoughts, our thought is cause. So our thoughts have energy. So the more thought that you put towards something, the more energy you put into one singular thought form, then the more energy, the more dense that thought form builds and contains, until eventually it gets so big and so full of energy that it creates a consciousness all of its own. And then an entity can be formed from out of that. So if your granny been praying for you every day of your life, 5 times a day, you're going to have a thought form that she has built and continue to feed energy into, because energy flows where the attention goes. She got her attention on you being whole and healthy and happy and safe and protected all the time. So she's built this strong thought form full of energy, and its whole entire mission is to protect you, guide you, and be there for you. And so then it builds its own consciousness to where that it's programmed to just do that for you. Now you have a guardian angel, but sometimes people will be praying on you, hating on you, and that, man, they see what you're doing and see how you're moving and you changing up things in your life. They hearing about the progression you're making and the success you having, and they hating on you. They don't like it. Every time they hear about you, it's a bad thought going towards you. So I mean, sometimes people are sending you that energy, and you have to, you can combat it, but also remember, all the energy you receive is your energy. So you can transmute it and then just take that same energy and become more powerful, because now you have more energy. You have other people feeding you more energy. Your inner star can now become a superstar. That's why, like, superstars are superstars, because they have millions of people feeding them energy. That's why they're called fans, because they're fanning them their energy. And now they're superstars. That's why Michael Jackson was so fucking weird, because he was the first person on this planet that had so much energy that people were just saying, "Oh, I love you, Michael Jackson." You know what I mean? From all around the planet. He has so much energy, what to do with it. But anyways, I can get further into that. Essentially, I'm just trying to paint a picture of, this is your energy. Once it comes into your space, once you receive it into yourself, it is your energy to do what you want with. You don't have to be afraid of it, no matter how the energy is charged, no matter what intention it had being sent towards you. It is now your energy to do whatever you want with. And so transmute it, use it, put it to use, give it a new purpose, reprogram it if you have to. But that's all part of it. So definitely implement that technique that I'll put on the video for energy transmutation. So any other questions? We got chat
I
here.
do. I got a
Yeah,
question.
thank you, man. You're welcome. Yeah, go ahead. No?
About that. So in the moment when you're trying, you're in the moment and you got a bad situation going on, you're trying to transmute that energy. What are you doing with your face so that people can't tell that you're focusing on getting through that moment?
I mean, you're
do you put a
talking.
game face on? Because I wear my emotions, so I know people will see that I'm
Yeah,
trying to walk through steps.
yeah. I mean, maybe you gotta, oh, let me go to the bathroom for a minute. Excuse me, let me go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I mean, I don't know, because you're talking to somebody who, I'll do goofy stuff in public just to do it, just to see people have a reaction. you know. So I mean, I'll be somebody who, I'm at a dinner with, has nothing to do with metaphysics or anything, and then I'll just start breathing. A lot of times it's, half the time in like instances like that, it's really just also to start a conversation. If I really need to, I'll just, kind of excuse myself and go do it in private, not to disturb anybody. But oftentimes people like look at me weird, and then out of the 5 people that are looking at me weird, one person will be, not really courageous enough, but they'll, have the gumption to, let me ask this guy, let me engage. What in the world are you doing, man? And there's, oh, I'm just transmuting this energy, man. I don't know, something. I don't know if it's somebody here I'm picking up on the energy, or somebody thinking about me, sending me some energy. I don't know, but it's funky. So I'm having to transmute to get rid of that, and then because it creates an experience. Like I remember one time I was I had just moved from Cincinnati to Louisville, and I was working at this restaurant, and the restaurant I came from was amazing, ran wonderfully. I mean, you could work a Saturday double and make $500-600. And this one is not ran so well. They don't have like the same kind of options and stuff. And I mean, maybe it's just, Louisville's half the size of Cincinnati, so not as many affluential people were coming there. So I don't know. You ain't making as much money. It's not ran very well. So one day I'm like, it's dead. There's nobody in there. But they kept like there's like certain people that are supposed to close, and then everybody else you let go of at a certain time. There's nobody left in there. They were keeping all these other people. And I was one of those people. I'm like, I'm standing around. I'm not making any money, but I'm stuck here. Like, what's going on? Like, who's running this? How are you really running this? Like, come on. So I was kind of getting upset about it, mainly because I had things to do. And this one person came up to me. They're like, man, some of us are going out drinking. You wanna come drink? I'm like, nah, I don't drink. I appreciate it though. They're like, well, you mean you smoke? It's like, nah, I don't smoke. Like, well, what do you do? Because I mean, this ain't working. You got to do something for this. You know what you're thinking. And most people who are like upset like this, because I was really upset. And I'm a Taurus bull, so I was really upset. And plus it was like 8-9 years ago. And uh she's thinking, most people who are like this, they find some way to cope with it by drinking or smoking or something. And she was like, well, what do you do? And I looked at her, I was like, oh yeah. And I closed my eyes, and within like 4 seconds, I because I just started feeling my body. I did the feel the body technique, and I tuned in, and I felt all of this energy swirling all over, like strong energy, because it was, that's how it was charged, but it was a lot of energy. But since it was charged in a certain way, my mind's not even feeling it. But right now, I just stopped for a second and started feeling it. And all of a sudden, the anger went away, but the energy was still there. So the charge went away and it went to neutral, right? Because I was just seeing the energy as it was, went to neutral. And then then I'm just standing there feeling tons and tons of energy swirling throughout my whole body. And then it felt, I mean, I never felt anything like that. And so I started laughing. I was like, and I opened my eyes, and this all happened in like a matter of like 2-3 seconds. And I opened my eyes, and they're sitting there looking at me like, because they just watched me literally go from like, because I'm like I can't really hide nothing on my face. I'm a Taurus. It's out there. How I'm feeling, how I'm thinking, it's out there. See it on my face. So I just literally went from like this to like elation and joy in an instant. And they were like shocked. Like, what in the world just happened? So then there was a whole conversation about that. Like, what did you just do? Like, she literally said that. What did you just do? I shared. I was like, oh, well, I just, put my attention on where my energy was, try to find out where it was coming from. In the process, I didn't even get that far in the process of it. I just felt all the swirling energy. But anyways, to answer your question, I mean, if you don't want to be like that and kind of like be out and about with it, especially if you're just practicing and things and you're just trying to get a hold on things yourself, because then sometimes you might be in that situation and then you start getting judgmental energy and other energy and doubting energy and stuff put on you to where you have to transmute even more. Then maybe just hey, let me run to my car real quick, y'all. If I forgot something, run to my car. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Kind of just excuse yourself from the social setting and practice your technique.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. All right. Anyone else have any questions or anything? All right. All right. Well, no. Okay. All right. Well, let's go with any up like questions or dreams that we want to go over right now, and then whenever we don't pick up on with the questions now, we'll just review what's been in the last week in the Discord chat, uh, and go over everything else in there and answer any of those questions and go over those dreams. And together we can all, get better at dreams. So with this, if you're sharing a dream that you want to be interpreted, first, like share your dream, and then, share maybe any symbols that you see and you know what those mean, or to any degree of the dream that you know the interpretation to any degree, whether it's, I know this one symbol and that's it, that's fine. Or I don't know anything, because interpreting your own dreams is always harder than other people. So, maybe it is hard for you. So whoever's sharing their dream, at the end of sharing their dream, they will either say, I see this is what I see in the dream and this and that, or they'll say, I don't really see anything in this dream. I don't know. Maybe you're still new with it, or not catching on, or never came across these symbols, or whatever. Who cares? And then after that, anyone else other than me that wants to add on to that, or piggyback off of something they said, even, go ahead and there'll be space for you all to do that so that you can continue to exercise your own practice in universal language of the mind, understanding the language. And then after that, then I'll jump in and, top it off with anything else that wasn't covered. So who'd like to go first? Kaz has a hand up.
Yes, I have a dream I would like to share.
Okay.
And in this dream, I'm at the store and the lights are on, and my teacher is at the register for some reason, but I don't mind that. So I went up to her and I asked her for a basketball, and she said yeah. And then out of the blue, shots started firing. Somebody was in the back sniping people. And
Mm.
so I saw my sister. I told her to come over here with me and the teacher because I'm hiding behind the desk, but my teacher's just standing up for some reason. So then I tell her to come over here. She tried to, but she got shot. So then I went to her and I told her to make sure you breathe. Just continue breathing. And then while I was telling her to do that, I was covering the bullet wound. And then I think she died in my dream. But then I turned
Mm.
back to my teacher to see if she was okay. And then I turned back to my sister and um I saw your face just sitting there laughing. You didn't have a body, nothing. I just saw your face sitting there laughing. And in my head I'm thinking like, what is Tarak doing here? But then out loud I'm saying, Markela, are you okay? You okay? You still breathing? Even though she wasn't even there. She was already gone.
Mm.
But
That's your sister, right?
I just saw your head. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Fascinating.
Okay. hmm
What do you see in that dream?
So in this dream, I see first off, I see two super conscious figures. Well, not figures. I see the two halves of a super conscious mind. I'm inside of a store, so I'm giving energy in exchange for something. And there's people shooting or somebody shooting. So there's an act for transformation here or desire for transformation. And let me see. What else did I see in that dream? I mean, I guess that's basically all of the main parts, except for the stuff on the shelves, which I didn't pay much attention to. Okay, now with this dream, mm, I'm thinking about how I should interpret it, but before I thought about sharing, I just think this dream is trying to tell me that in revelation to those past 2 days of the stream that I've been really, really wanting to transform myself. And because of that, I am getting more energy to transform myself. And also, my superconscious mind spirit is receiving those experiences to furthermore help me transform myself. So that's what I see in this dream.
Right. Anyone else have any insight on anything? As his dream, something he may have mentioned or may not have mentioned. Okay. Uh, okay. So, One interesting thing that I'd like to point out is who was doing the shooting.
See, that's something I didn't know, but I had a
Yeah.
little theory because before I was going to sleep, I was watching a little a show on Netflix, and it was about a guy who used to be a sniper in the Marines. And so while he was shooting, I had an image in my head saying, "This is probably that guy," but I don't know if
You
it's him
never
or not.
saw him. Yeah.
Nope.
So what does it mean when someone else is doing the shooting in the dream versus, because it would have been different if you were the one had it in your hand. You were shooting.
Mhm. I feel as if either the transformation is outside of me, or I feel as if I'm not the one doing the transformation. The transformation is happening
Yeah. Yeah,
unconsciously.
not
I'm unconsciously
exactly.
transforming.
It's not that it's outside of you. It's just you're not consciously in control. You're not consciously choosing what parts of you are being transformed. Right? We're not consciously choosing this transformation, this change.
Uh-huh.
Not only was it, because it'd be one, because it's also one thing if someone ran up into the grocery store shooting people in your dream, right? That isn't what happened. It was a sniper.
Uh-huh.
Like, because someone running into the grocery store, it's like, yeah, this guy ran in there, but I don't know who he was. I didn't recognize his face. But there wasn't even a face to recognize because it was a sniper. At best, maybe you saw a scope glint, a little shimmer of the sun off the scope, maybe. At best,
Yeah.
that's all you see. So it's a sniper. So what do you think that would represent?
I will represent. I never really thought about that. So the
It just
form
it
is
just
a
kind of means
sniper.
that it's you're really unconscious of it. You really have no way of identifying what's causing this change, right?
Mhm.
Like, you
Yes.
might have a chance. You might be able to have a chance of describing it and identifying it if you saw its face. It's like I've never seen this person before, but they look like this. It's like, man, I have
Oh.
no clue. I have no clue what's causing this change. And so
Oh. There we
and
go.
it's a female teacher. So superconscious, the feminine
Mhm.
principle of the superconscious mind. So it's something like whenever it's us causing the change, it's like I'm consciously choosing how I'm going to change and transform. Like uh, you know,
Uh-huh.
like Tarak, you need to change how you listen to people. You need to get better at really receiving what other people are saying. I need to change that part of myself. I need to change that about myself. Well, that's one thing. Versus, you know, I and I'm having a hard time at work. I'm having a hard time at school. My siblings been getting on my nerves these last few days. I misplaced $40. Shit is just not going right, man. I'm just agitated and now I'm short tempered with people. Somebody come in and ask, man, why you bothering me? Why you bugging me, man? Leave me alone. And I'm not normally like that. But things outside of myself are kind of causing me to become like that. So that's kind of, something outside of myself causing the change. I feel it's something. I feel it's out of my hands. The gun ain't in your hands. I feel like it's out of my hands. I can't help but to change like this. The things in my life, the things in my environment are forcing me to change in this way. And so for you,
Mhm.
it's like that, and it's something going on that you didn't choose that is forcing you to change and transform how you bring about and fulfill that blueprint for your spirit, how you connect with your spirit. It's changing. And
Yes.
so,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, but also a result of that is that it's changing and transforming from just a blueprint, a plan, to then having the energy to fulfill and put the plan to action. So it's like I've kind of been changing and things, but my awareness of it and putting my attention on it is giving me the energy I need to go even further, to go even deeper. So maybe in that same example, I'm getting agitated and short with people, and then my sister comes into the room and she just asked me a question. Hey, what you doing? Man, get the hell out of my room, man. And as soon as they walk out, it's like, oh man, why'd I snap on that? Man, I have been getting pretty short lately. You know what? I need to nip this in the bud. I need to take action on this. I need to make sure I overcome this and don't let this kind of go into something. That's like the transformation from the female teacher to the male teacher, mentor, whatever. So it transformed from just a blueprint, a plan has died away, and now it's like you have the energy to put it to action. Okay, I'm inspired now. Okay, because I'm kind of moving it. I was moving in the right direction a long time. And then these last couple of days, I kind of taken a couple steps back. No, 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 no. Let me get up and do something about this right now. You have that inspiration.
Yes, that's completely true. That's completely true. And while you were talking and explaining that to me, I figured out what that transformation was.
Mm,
So yeah, that's
beautiful.
phenomenal. And those what is it, examples you gave me are just so accurate once again. So yes, I do appreciate that so much, so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, well, appreciate yourself as well because you're the one that delivered the message. I just translated. So you're the one that gave
Mhm.
yourself the message. So
Of course, always.
I think Santana had her hand up next. Still have something to share?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
So last night I had a dream that I was in like a patriotic society in a sense where women were not allowed on this on in this plane, and if women were kind of caught, they were kind of enslaved.
Mm,
So I end up, I was with my sister and my cousin, and we were being us, which are women, and for some reason they didn't want to run, and I just left them, and I ended up running. I was like, well, y'all don't want to run, I'm gonna go ahead and go. So my thought was like, and then I had like people like federal soldiers that were, taking the women and just suppressing them and things like that. So I decided, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be a man, I'm gonna be the best gay man I can possibly be. So I go in the bathroom, shave. For some reason, I had, I looked in the mirror and I decide to shave like sideburns, and then I just went through where I was just pulling this. I took a scalpel, not a scalpel, but one of those eyebrow shapers, and I started like going at it with my skin, and for some reason I was just pulling a lot of skin off of my face, and it actually hurted. I was like, ooh, I need to
mm,
take my time because it was actually hurting. And I don't really, when it comes to like when I'm dreaming in the astral plane, I rarely feel physical pain. So
mhm.
I end up coming back as this like intrinsic gay man who was extremely feminine, but I was still I mean a woman, of course.
Mhm.
And I was blending in with society um fairly well. I don't, in between some dream I was going somewhere, and I remember I'm having a gun and I shot this woman, and it was like a BB gun though, because I shot her in the vagina. I don't know why I shot that woman in her coochie, like, but
Why would you do that?
I don't
No,
know.
I'm
And then
playing.
she
I'm
was
playing.
like, somebody shot me. And I was like, I got secrets. I was like, I was the one that shot her in the coochie. And that's what I remember from the dream. Like that that was it. And oh, before that, when I was running, between running, whenever I'm running, I like to seek refuge in cars. But for this
Mm.
reason, I
Ah.
couldn't, because somebody was for one, they had their laundry baskets and tissue in the car and they was about to leave. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, can't take this car. This is their car. So I end up doing something else. But that was the gist of the dream.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Okay, what do you see in the dream, if anything?
Well, I seen the feminine and the masculine attributes. If I can tie it into reality, I've grown up into a very masculine home, including my
Mm-hmm.
mom being masculine and things like that. And so I'm on this journey right now to not suppress my femininity and um to go on this journey where I'm unbecoming. Does it make sense? I'm unbecoming what I was raised into. So I'm learning how to be vulnerable, learning how to be feminine, learning how to be in touch with myself, because that's kind of like in connecting with the feminine chakras, which are the heart. I think the throat is one as well, and the third eye. Um, I noticed like the peeling of me pulling off the skin. It may have represented an aspect of me transforming and um un shedding or something like that. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's I just was, yeah, because when I got it, I don't it this was the part I was supposed to shape myself into a gay man. But when I looked in the mirror, I already was the gay man. I was just becoming more feminine. I was
Mm-hmm.
shaving off the sideburns and looking like a woman, but I told them that I was you know, they see me as a gay man. But
Mm-hmm.
um and that's the only thing that I could think of when I thought about the dream.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so okay. And so for anybody else, what's some other things that you all see other than Kaz? We'll go with Kaz last and then me. Even if it's just like one symbol, like you saw one symbol and you know what that means.
Her running into the car, representing her physical body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, her peeling off the faces. Her how she identifies and shows up.
Yeah, yeah. The identity, shedding a layer of how you identify. Yeah. So what?
Hmm
So back to the first part, the car representing the body. What would that then mean? Running back into the car, refuge. What would that kind of mean?
Um, I don't know.
Well, like shelling up. Like oh man, just what? I'm shut down. I'm going within, and I'm kind of just
Oh,
you
okay.
know
hmm
I sit here inside my own thoughts and emotions. I'm not gonna be more outward. I'm gonna be more introverted right now. Just shell up, kind of. Yeah, yeah. But it's being the body that's beautiful. Touch on that. Notice that. What else? What else? What's like the big picture of this dream? Anybody see the big picture of the dream? Or I mean, whether it's right or wrong, whatever you think it is.
Is it not self identity?
Well, I just mean like I don't mean like the big picture interpretation, but just like the story of this dream. Yeah, I can see that. Um, but mostly like it's the way it started out. Like, how did the dream start out? Like because even like turning into the gay guy, that was still kind of like like a disguise. Like it's all about escaping that slavery, right? Because then transforming and shaving the skin, everything is trying to like let me change how I appear so I don't get found out and get sent back. You know what I mean? Like when people escape from prison or anything, they or they gotta let me change my appearance, let me dye my hair, let me change how I look so I don't get caught and get sent back. It's like the whole dream is pretty much all about that. And so it's freedom, breaking free of these things. And it is okay. Okay, but yeah, never mind. I'm starting to get into it. What else does anybody else see, or what else? What more do you see? Okay. What about Cass? What do you see in the dream that nobody's touched on yet, Cass? What stuck out to you?
I'm really noticing the mirror and how
Mhm.
the person in his dream is really reflecting on themselves, the way they want to
Mhm.
change, they want to change
Yeah,
it, what part of them they want to change, and all of that stuff. So that's
yeah,
the main theme of this dream is a desire to want to change and actually seeing what you want to change changing instead of just changing in general. It's dying it
yeah.
down to a specific point. That's what I'm seeing
Hmm.
in this dream.
Yeah, because that's like the apex of the dream. That's when everything kind of shifts. She goes from running from something to like going towards something after the mirror and all that experience with the mirror. That's right, absolutely right. Self-reflection. And then that makes sense how it ties into then the self-reflection, then tying into the face, pulling back layers of her own identity as she reflects more on herself, pulling back layers of her own identity, trying to shape and form the sideburns, right? So trying to shape and form the thoughts about the self, trying to really refine the thoughts she has about herself is helping her to then transform and really pull back, like when you have a mat, like peeling back this layer of skin is kind of like pulling away a mask. It's like I'm seeing a deeper level of who I am, my own self identity, a deeper layer of who my self identity is, who I am. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And so one thing that's really also central to this is all about like genders, right? So it was only females enslaved. And then when she took off, she like transformed into a gay man, right? So what do males represent and what do females represent? Anyone remember? If not, it's okay. Okay, so let me pull this up real quick.
I remember that male is the conscious aspect.
Yeah. Okay, and what's female?
Mm, not sure.
Okay.
Subconscious aspect.
Yeah, there you go. Not sure, but you still knew. Okay. So does anyone know why those represent each of those, or have any speculation or guess? Okay.
I would say I'm not sure, but I would say
Okay.
like masculine energy is like the foundation, um like when things are created, like it's like the knowledge of something, and
Okay. Yeah,
then
kind of.
the feminine energy is like the creative energy. So like in the subconscious mind, that's where everything is starting from. So so it's like I don't know if I'm right though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're on the right track. Is where everything started from, as in thought is cause. This mental level here, thought is cause. So this large line right here, if we remember, if not, it's okay. We're being reminded. And if we remember, this line is to delineate that everything above it is a whole. So the superconscious mind is whole amongst itself, and everything below it is one whole. So the conscious mind and subconscious minds are two halves to that whole. Universal law of duality. Everything is dual, feminine and masculine, receptive and aggressive, positive and negative. Not to say, feminine or receptive is negative, but it just means, negative, open to receive, aggressive, positive, open, giving, flowing out, Negative is flowing in like a battery. It has a positive side and a negative side. Doesn't mean the negative side is bad. It just means that's where energy is received from. And positive, that's where energy goes out from. So a man, a man, a man's energy flows out. And then a woman receives that energy, is receptive to receive. So the same, just like the conscious mind. The conscious mind plants the seed thoughts into the womb of the subconscious mind, where it then gestates and forms. Like when you have an idea of something you want to manifest, like Trisha, you just said you just been manifesting all type of stuff so far this year. It all started with a thought some time ago, whether it was 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago. But that thought has been gestating within your mind, like a seed being planted in the womb of a woman and then gestating in the belly and in the womb until and it continues to form larger and larger, creating shape, taking form. You can kind of start to see that it's coming, until the belly's full. It's like, oh wow, yeah, that's about to come out any second now. I can really feel it. I can touch it and feel it. I feel it kicking. I can tell the life is in there. It is growing, until it actually is birthed out into the physical, right? And then you start to see signs of it. You got the contract that you were looking for, the extension. There's talks of moving into this new role that you were looking into, and so that's just an example that she shared earlier. But all of us can look at our lives and see these things within our life, whether it's a lot easier to see the things that we're wanting to manifest. But if we really do a lot of introspection and reflection and self-reflection, then we can also see how we've caused some of the things that we didn't want to manifest unconsciously. Our unconscious thoughts, our fears and worries and doubts kind of fed into that. But a male represents a conscious aspect because the conscious mind is very aggressive, like a male's energy. The thoughts of the conscious mind are just flowing into the mind, whether you're choosing to have them or not. Intuition is the power of the subconscious mind. And with women being more receptive, they're more receptive to the thoughts of the subconscious mind. So that's why they are naturally more intuitive and more connected with the subconscious, and then thus also reflect more of those things, more of those features. Men are more reasoners because they're more out here in the physical and really absorbed with the conscious mind and the reasoning, which is the power of the conscious mind. But anyways, so having a prison of all women, it's showing that you're kind of limiting your subconscious mind in some way. Like whatever's been going on recently, you've really been putting a limitation on your subconscious mind, because a prison represents the limitation. A wall represents a limitation, a fence represents a limitation, but not prison, slavery, right? But slavery is even worse than prison. You know what I mean? Because slavery is from like birth to death. Like being in a room, isn't really like, and the walls are all around you. Those aren't that hard of limitations to get past. You just walk through the door. The walls are designed to have access through them. Sometimes there's just a doorway. There isn't even a door. It's just an opening, a gap, a window, so you can see through the limitation. Then there's a fence. Fences, sometimes they're taller, so they're hard to get around or get over. Sometimes there is no gate on a fence. Sometimes they're barbed wire. Sometimes they're electrocute you. So fences are a little bit harder. So they're going to represent a little bit harder limitations to get past, to get beyond, to move beyond, to break through. Prison or jail is a stronger limitation. Personal limitation, some sort of limiting belief. I'm no good. I can't do it. I'm, whatever thought that you have that's not universally true, that is limiting your progression and growth, is a personal limitation. You believe it so much that it's true for you. And it's crippling, it's handicapping, it's limiting, it's enslavement if it becomes that strong. Like I say all the time, if you don't become the master, you'll always be the slave, whether it's we're talking about your body, the cravings of the body, or you're talking about the mind and controlling your mind, your attention, the emotions, or whether we're talking about the ego or whatever it is. If you don't learn how to master it, then you'll always be a slave to it in some form or fashion and some strength. So there was a way in which you became aware of this personal limitation and broke free. Say, look, if y'all ain't going, I'm going. You can stay if you like. I'm going. You know what I mean? And you did break free. And then in that, there was a lot of self-reflection in who you are and the thoughts that you have about yourself. But in that also, there's kind of some, you know, misalignment in how you're moving forward. Because one, you shot the lady in the coochie. Like, I mean, you know, a woman represents the subconscious mind. The the vagina is designed for creating that life, that receptive. It is your creative ability, and so you're transforming it, but not necessarily in, you know. I mean, actually, well, yeah. I mean, it's really that action coupled with you like transformed into a gay man. And so, you know, in the universal language of the mind, I'm not, you know, I mean, people are free to do whatever they like. But one thing you can't do as a gay man is, you know, as long as you're, you know, interacting in a gay relationship, is create life. You know, you have to introduce a woman in some way, form, or fashion, somehow, even if it's through a laboratory, in order to create life. And so the conscious mind working with just the conscious mind isn't going to manifest much. You know what I mean? You have to engage the subconscious mind in some form or fashion in order to manifest something. And then the only interaction that then happens is shooting the other lady. You know what I mean? And so it's like, yes, you're becoming aware of some sort of limitation and you're wanting to move beyond it, but be sure that you are engaging the whole mind in doing this. So really tune in and, you know, do some stream of consciousness writing or do some you know, meditation or something, and really try to tune in and tap into what your purpose is. You know, that's engaging the superconscious mind. And then really formulate a strong image. You know, close your eyes and spend like 10 minutes really seeing yourself, bringing that to fruition, becoming the person that you're wanting to become, experiencing the things you want to experience, living the life that you want to live. Don't just see it like it's happening on a TV screen, but like immerse yourself in it. You know, we've talked about this a lot. You know, really immerse yourself, really put yourself in there, reach out and touch things, smell the air. You know what I mean? Have the conversation with your friends, telling them about your successes and transformations and achievements, you know? And that's how you're really going to engage the subconscious mind. And then take activity, you know, take activity and put these things into practice, because, you know, nature will only do half. You have to do the rest, you know? So, you know, that's how you engage the whole mind towards your creations. Nice. Any thoughts or questions on that interpretation or any piece of it or anything? Clarity anybody desires? Okay, awesome. Any other dreams or questions or thoughts or experiences with any exercises or anything?
Yeah, I have a quick part to my dream,
Okay, hold on.
quick little experience I'd like to share.
Okay, let's go to Trisha real quick, and then we'll get back to you.
All right, bet.
Give everybody else one chance.
Yeah, I know it's getting late in your time zone, but I have a dream
Oh, I'm
that
fine.
I had this week and it was like super vivid. I think I'd mentioned last week that it was I had kind of been having dreams that weren't really standing out to me too much, but I woke up from this one and was like um ready to write it down because I really wanted to remember it. And I know at the beginning of the dream, I was kind of faced with the choice of choosing between two friend groups taking the same vacation.
Mm,
Um, so this is like I have a friend group from high school, and then I have friends that I made after high school, and I picked the friends that I made after high school to go on the trip with. And then when we reached, everyone in the group fell asleep but me. And the group from high school, I kind of had like from a I was standing in front of glass, like a glass elevator, and they were all in the elevator, and it wasn't clear if I was like actually there because I could tell like they couldn't perceive me, and
Mm.
it almost just felt like I was like looking in through like a portal or something. And then there were like all these colorful houses, and I was almost kind of like flying, like I had like a bird's eye view, and I was like going in a circle because that was like the formation in which the houses were laid.
Mm-hmm.
And then like back to the point where everyone is asleep, somebody tells me that there's a huge storm coming and we all have to leave. Like we have a chance to fly out before the storm comes, and
Mm-hmm.
um, it's going to be like catastrophic. And I want to say that we were in Jamaica. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I go and I wake everyone up, and there wasn't like a moment where we all got home. I didn't experience the storm. Like the dream kind of cut to the next scene,
Mm-hmm.
and I was walking in a field of grass, and I could tell that it was like another realm, and there were different sections that I was walking through, and there was a man there who was like a steward of the land, and he felt like a guide, like an elevated being, like either like a demigod or
Mm-hmm.
somebody who knew like the land inside and out. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he like I was kind of rushing through the section, and he was like, I think like the amount that you've covered is what you should kind of digest. Like you like I think the words that he used was like you've gone through like enough for one day.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me if I noticed there were like these birds in a circle, and I was looking at them in my peripheral vision, and they didn't quite look like how birds typically look. Like I don't know how to describe how they look different, but I was just aware that their appearance was different, and they were circling, like rotating, like close to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, like a little boy appears, and he's telling me that his mom never made it home from the storm. And I remember this like feeling like the shock of like, oh my God, like because I had no idea that where I was related to like the first part of the dream.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Fascinating. Nice. Is Are there any symbols that you see in the dream?
I know that we said um, man is a subconscious, or a man is a conscious aspect, and
Yeah, but this
the
man
storm,
wasn't a normal man, though, right? He was like a
right?
demigod. Okay, it's a little difference.
The other
Shelton tribe.
symbols, yeah, the other symbols were the storm and the like birds, but I don't know what those represent.
Okay. What do you think a storm might represent? If you were to just guess.
Um, I know you were sharing like a post about what tornadoes represent, but this was like
Mhm.
not a tornado, it was
Yeah.
something more of like a cyclone.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. It's still similar, because it's just spinning round and round. But yeah, storm in general is just gonna, if a dream is what's going on within your consciousness throughout the day, then what do you think a storm might represent? I'm gonna guess. If everything's not
Like on,
sunny and bright, what's going on inside?
yeah, feeling of like unsettledness and
Yeah. There's some like tumultuousness going on, some
mm,
internal conflict, unsettling, feeling unsettled inside, and something's brewing. Some kind of mental or emotional storm is on the horizon. Kind of feel that it's brewing and coming to fruition. Yeah. What about anybody else see anything or any symbol or anything? Or just something you thought was interesting and curious about?
I think well, being that it was a storm cyclone, I did see something swirling as she told the story, but what I thought about is natural disaster, and how they are needed to transform things, to break things down so that new things can come to surface. So it made me think about how she may be going through some form of transformation, being that she went from one friend group, and that she decided to pick the friend group from, after high school, which symbolizes that she's moving forward with her progress, and she's not she did kind of look back. She didn't really look back, but she's moving forward. I also seen that being that she had that bird's eye view. She's higher and higher places as perspective, and the fact that even though, the demigod that came back, that represents the conscious aspect of the man, it could also represent that she is aware of her growth. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you're really touching on that.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I got so far. Just
I
by
really
what
like
saying.
what you said about like the natural disasters and things, and how like when Australia burnt up on fire a while ago. Well, like 3 months later, you started seeing videos and stuff of like new plant life growing and everything. But anyways, what I thought was really fascinating about that, because I didn't really even pick up on that, was how like the picture that was painted afterwards, with the birds and the demigod and all that. It just felt like some, not like a paradise or anything, but just some like serene like place that would be lovely to be in. Was kind of the feel that I got from it. And so it was really cool when you pointed that out, as far as like the storms, the natural disasters sometimes do that to bring about more life and transformation. I thought that was really cool. Anyone else see anything? What about you, Kaz? Anything you see in it that hasn't been touched on?
Anything I see. I mean, you guys already really touched on everything else. It's just the thing that intrigued me the most was what she did just say, what you touched upon, the natural disasters and stuff. But what was I about to say? Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. What a storm represents. I was in the process of interpreting her dream in the Discord, and I was about to say a storm represents the overflow of thoughts, something like that. Because when I thought of a storm, I was thinking of raining and winds blowing everywhere, a lot of rain, maybe cold out too. So that's what I was envisioning.
Yeah, lots of thoughts racing through, kind of raining down on you. Life, feel like life is raining down on you. Maybe, flashes of awareness. Lightning would be flashes of awareness. And thanks to like kind of all of that is going on. Just a lot going on internally. It's not like peace and calm. When you're at peace and content and calm, it's the opposite of a storm. When a storm's brewing, you got all these thoughts swirling around. You got all these emotions going on. You're up, you're down, you're left, you're right. It's something you don't really want to enjoy experiencing. Unless you're a storm chaser. They don't usually
Tarak,
chase to be in the storm. Yeah.
could we also say that storm, because when Cass said something about, the winds and all of her thoughts, it made me think of chaos, and chaos is associated with the divine feminine. And when the divine feminine is extremely chaotic, she is about to go upon a new transformation, like a new sense of, something new and different. And maybe that symbolizes that she has fear and worry when she had that warning as we better, get to the plane before this happens, and that could symbolizes what maybe that's her conscious or subconscious that's trying to protect her. But yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a major transformation, because that's what happens. She goes from that to a kind of more peaceful state of mind, because places represent your state of mind. So she went from one place that was experiencing a storm to another place that was kind of at peace, and kind of really learning and vibing with this demigod, right? So a god or a demigod is just someone who has power, right? Has these powers over the things within the reality that most other people don't have, you know? And so everything in the dream is a part of you. Every person, place, and thing in the dream is an aspect of your own consciousness. So that's her power. But it's when you see God or a demigod or anything of that nature in or a goddess, then in your dream, then it's representing how you feel like the power that you have over yourself, over your life, over what you create for yourself, over all of that power, you don't really feel is yours. You feel that power is outside of yourself. What determines your life is something outside of yourself, a God outside of yourself, a divine being or a divine force outside of yourself is in control of what you experience, who you are, and what happens in your life. But at the same time, though, with it showing up in your dream, it's representing that you're starting to become aware of your own inner divinity. You're starting to become aware of your own power to create over your life, and create who you are and who you transform into. Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a really good dream. It's a really great dream.
Yeah, thank you, all of you, for sharing on that.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything? Before we move on to back around to Kaz?
I have a question. What
Okay.
does it mean when you go from constantly dreaming to not dreaming or not remembering them?
Yeah, I mean, it could be many different things, but remember, dreams are a reflection of how you've been using your mind. So it could just be a matter of awareness. You're not really moving through life with the same level of awareness and lucidity that you were before. It could mean that you're needing to work on your memory and increase your memory. But the main thing is the awareness. You know, the less aware you are throughout the day, the less aware you are going to be of your dreams. The more aware you are throughout the day, the more aware of your dreams. And working, it's a relationship with the subconscious mind. So the more you work with your subconscious mind, then the more that it will be there. The more you communicate with your subconscious mind. That's why writing down before you go to sleep, I will remember my dreams. And then saying out loud, I will remember my dreams. You aren't saying that just to say it. You're talking to the subconscious mind. I mean, you're saying it to the subconscious mind. So that's a big factor as well. Preparing yourself to remember your dreams. Writing them down is so huge to dream recall. So, right.
Thank
Anyone else
you.
have anything? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Kaz, what else did you have, Kaz?
I gotta try to remember the dream now. Oh, there's a dream right there. So this dream is interesting. I liked it. I did interpret it also, but I would like your insight on it. This is a dream of mine I had like 2 nights ago. My friend was calling over to me. I was inside of a street at nighttime. My friend was calling over to me, so I was going to him. after I went to him, I just my attention was completely off of him after that. And so then I was behind houses. There's a guy on the other side of the street where I originally was. He was flashing flashlights at me, a flashlight for some reason. And so then I kept dodging it because I didn't want to get caught for some reason. And then after that, I was thinking about just going inside of somebody's house. So then I did do that. And I went in somebody's house and I saw some nice, beautiful controllers on the floor and some cords. So I ended up taking those cords, stealing them. And then I left the house. And then after I stole them, I thought to myself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this to these innocent people? I have no reason to steal from them. So then I go back there and I place it back and then I leave. And then after I leave, oh, what was I doing? After I leave, I went inside of this little, like, it's so weird, this prologue of these
Mhm.
assassins and what they do. And I was a character inside of it, talking to like my brother or something, explaining or just telling a story on how I killed a person. And then I was jumping from rooftop to rooftop while I was doing it. And that was really cool to me. I just love that view because it looks so beautiful. It was at nighttime. I was jumping from rooftop to rooftop. But after that, when I was talking to my brother, telling him the story, I ended up having a big, huge fish in my hand, and I just ended up slapping him with that fish. And after I slapped him with that fish, I woke up. So yeah, there's a few more little details in the beginning of this dream. Like before I went to my friend, I was gonna walk to him, but then there's this garbage truck backing up and almost ran me over. When I was going across the street, there's this semi truck about to hit me, but then I got away from it. So there's that. But that's it for the stream.
So what do you see in the dream?
Start out with the beginning. The first thing is I see these trucks trying to hit me, and I don't know what that'll mean. And the rest of the part of this dream, I can see this dream is trying to tell me about my transformation, about me. Well, how do I put this? About me wanting, not even wanting, about me sabotaging myself. About me sabotaging myself, taking stuff from myself, taking away from my value, but also returning that value. And then me jumping from rooftop to rooftop. A big rooftop represents the super conscious mind. So there's that, and there's the little flashlight, which represents little small flickers of awareness that guy was trying to bring. And that fish smacked the guy with some spiritual awareness. So there's also that, and that's all I see.
Yeah. Nice spiritual knowledge. One thing that's really cool, as soon as you started talking, is you often have dreams of crossing the street. Often. It's like if not every week or every time we get together, it's every other time at the longest. But usually at least once time you talk about some sort of dream where you're crossing the street. And it's funny, in my mind I see it the same every time, but I'm not sure if that's the case. So would you say you were crossing from the left side of the street to the right side or from the right side of the street to the left side?
I'll say the right side to the left side.
Yes. Okay.
But
And then
that's weird though. Continue.
yeah, just like oh yeah, I was just meaning like just as far as the direction in which you're going, I would pay attention to that in each dream. So whenever you're writing them down from now on, like if you're going up the street, or you going from left side to the right side to the left side, or were you going down the street and went from the left side to the right side, or right side to the left side? Kind of write that down, you know, to just keep in tabs on what's the difference of when I'm going from left to right and right to left, and just really observe. And what was also
Oh,
cool was the flashlight. Because a flashlight is different than a light bulb or a lantern. A light bulb
uh-huh.
is all over the place. You turn on a light, it's all over the room. You know what I mean? You open up, light a lantern, it's filling up the whole room, right? You turn on a flashlight, it's
Uh-huh.
very focalized and refined. And this is the biggest testament in this dream that I see. And it's just like a testament of how far you've come because it represents awareness, right? So your focused attention and awareness is very focused at this time in order to get you to where you're going throughout this dream, being very focused, which is a testament to the increased concentration you've been building and practicing, exercising concentration. It's amazing, truly amazing.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah, you're
once
welcome.
again. Mhm.
Yeah, thank
And
yourself.
thank you
Put in the work.
for putting in the work. Yeah, but I just had to say that because you say that every time. Thank you, Cass, for putting in the work. Thank
It was
you.
coming.
Thank you yourself.
It's funny.
Ooh, all right. And now I got a little
Nice.
small, quick experience
Yeah.
for you, and I wanted to ask you about. Like, oh, for the past like 2 times when I tried to astral project, when I would put my attention back to my physical body, and when I come back inside of it, and I would turn over to my side to just normally go to sleep. And when that happens, most of the time I see a small image of something. And then after I see this small image of something, it's like, this feels so weird. It doesn't even feel weird. It is weird. But after I see this small image of something, my awareness, that's just the best way to say this, my awareness goes outside of my body. Like I'll be laying down on my couch, my head will be facing towards the pillow cushions. It'll feel like my awareness is going through the pillow cushions. And then after that, this image is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So then I was thinking about to myself, you know what? Yeah, why don't I try to go into this image? So then I keep saying to myself, I will go inside of this image. I will go inside of this image. So then after that, the image will continue to get bigger, continue to get bigger. And then I was like, you know what? I believe I'm causing to see this image. So why don't I try to change this image? Then every time I
Mm-hmm.
change it, it's like so weird. I would think
Mm-hmm.
a thought, but instead of it just like changing this image in front of me, the thought would be different. Like the thought would feel like it'll be right above my head, but the image was right in front of me. And this
Mm-hmm.
image that I was seeing, I believe it was just outside of my room, not even room, outside of my house. It was
Mm-hmm.
dark. It was like a little alleyway, but it wasn't clear enough. It was really blurry. And this happens almost every night. If I decide to become aware while I'm falling asleep, I will see this little image. And I've been trying to experiment with it to figure out what this
Mm-hmm.
is. Because I have my theories. Like this is a subconscious image I will be seeing before I go into a dream or stuff like that. But I wonder, do you know or have an idea on what that image can be?
I don't know. You're the one that's seen it, that saw it.
Yeah,
I don't know what
you're
the
right.
image is. What would you say the image is?
No, I think it's outside of my house. Just like when I was sitting here doing that prana breathing exercise, I saw that little small image again. It's not even an image, it's like energy. I see the energy moving when
Mm-hmm.
I close my eyes. Almost
Mm-hmm.
every time I do a type of experience or technique practice, I always see it, the energy moving. So then when I do that, I focus on the energy, and that's when I start to see these images. And so when I do
Mm-hmm.
that, I'll try to embrace myself inside of the image.
Well,
And
remember
I
the
forgot to
images are
mention,
energy.
you know what? You're right.
Yeah, the thought.
They are energy.
Energetic all
And then
powerful.
when I embraced myself into this image, I almost projected. I almost astrally projected, and I didn't even realize it. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I don't even, I still got to figure this out. But I'll say that. Oh, wow, what else? Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to ask you. What is your favorite astral projection techniques?
Mine, I love,
Yes.
and we're gonna go over the technique next week. I was debating whether to put it in this week or next week. We'll put it in next week. It's the bounce
Uh-huh.
technique. We already kind of went over it, but the bounce technique. That is my favorite because it speeds up the process. So whatever technique you do use, it's going to make it easier to do, and it's going to increase your success rate because what it does is it activates the energy body. So your energy body activates at night when you go to sleep, but when you self-activate it, it's like warming up your car. When you go outside and warm up your car, when you actually ready to go, it's ready to go. It's not, get in your car, let me start it up, let me sit there for a minute in the cold. This is uncomfortable. This is hard to do. Okay, now I'm ready to go. The car's still not really ready, but I'm too cold. I need it to start moving so we can start heating things up. You know what I mean? Like when you already warming it up, you just hop in and take off. Everything's smooth. It's comfortable. So it's like that. So that's my favorite is the bounce technique. And then for me,
I
the
mean, yeah,
like
that's
rolling
very
back and
true.
forth is really helpful. But just understanding the whole entire process, really. But as far as like the actual exit, the rolling back and forth, the rocking back and forth is my favorite. My
Rocking
favorite
back and forth.
technique my favorite exit technique to actually exit on the body once you get to that position, to actually get up and get out of your body.
And I wonder, have you tried of like putting your awareness somewhere else to do it? Like you just be walking around your house, like you just visualize that. Have you ever tried that when you astral project?
Yeah, that's how I started out learning astral projection, and
Uh-huh.
the results were like hit or miss. Like sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. It was never anywhere near as successful as the other techniques and the things that you can learn from the astral dynamics. But nowhere even
Mhm.
close to the results of the techniques.
Oh, and that's true. Like the first time I did this bounce technique to activate my body, I was up and ready to go in 5 minutes. And normally
Yeah,
when I try to astral project, it will take me 40 minutes. And I
exactly,
was always wondering
exactly.
how
The
yours was just
vehicle is
so
warmed
short.
up. The vehicle's warmed up.
Uh, so I finally realized that it
Yeah.
all just matters on how quickly I activate my body and also how motivated I am to actually get out. How much discipline am I applying to the practice that I'm using to get out of my body instead of me just doing it and expecting
Hmm.
for it to work? I figured
Hmm.
that's the reason why I really haven't been 100% successful on the astral projection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Makes sense. Well, all right, everyone. I appreciate it. I've enjoyed it. I'm really excited for these next two months. Really excited for these next two lessons. Yeah, yeah. I'll get back to the rest of these in the group, and I'm trying to keep up. I've just been having so much going on these last 3 months. But yeah, I definitely make sure at some point I get around to everything. So yeah, keep it up. I'm loving you all continuing to grow and build relationships amongst each other as well, and sharing with each other. It's a beautiful and amazing teaching each other what you all know, because that's really what it's all about. All of us learning together, man. I got a lot to learn as well. So I'm always excited to learn from others as well. So love it. Love it. All right. Well, if anybody else has anything else, then peace. Peace.
That's a wrap. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye.